Right now, New Jersey Democratic gubernatorial nominee Mikey Sherrill is holding a news conference. You're looking at it. That comes as her GOP opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, is closing the gap in the polls. Today's event focuses on infrastructure. But after a series of scandals, critics say it'll take more than promising to build new tunnels to soothe voters' concerns. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany here with my co-hosts, Harris Faulkner and Emily Compagno. Also joining us are Thel Neville, Fox News anchor, and Tom Shillue, Fox Nation host and Fox News contributor. Just 3 weeks until Election Day, less than that actually, and in New Jersey, Democratic nominee Mikey Sherrill is doubling down on her attacks against Republican nominee Jack Ciattarelli, even as he threatens legal action. During last week's debate, Sherrill accused Ciattarelli of killing tens of thousands of New Jerseyans by contributing to the opioid crisis in the Garden State. When asked if she regretted her wording, she told the Philadelphia Inquirer in a new interview, quote, "Everybody that watched that debate knows the context of which I was talking." And she also derided Ciattarelli's threat of a lawsuit, saying, quote, "He's acting like a total baby right now, if you ask me." Well, Ciattarelli has firmly denied any culpability related to the opioid crisis and is readying a lawsuit against Sherrill, telling a New Jersey Election Commission that he plans to use his personal funds to bring the suit and will avoid using campaign dollars. Sherrill's 11th hour blame game comes as she and her lead narrows. It keeps narrowing, it seems, day by day. In the last month, Quinnipiac found that Sherrill's lead has dropped from 8 points to 6 points. Right now, 50% of likely voters are breaking her way, but Ciattarelli is close behind with 44%. And that Real Clear Politics average is even closer than that at 4.8%. I want to start with this. I pieced something together this morning. We covered yesterday the donations that Sherrill has received from companies who are blamed with the opioid crisis culpability. Well, look at this. I found this in the New York Times. Advanced Studies in Medicine, a component of Mr. Ciattarelli's company, Galen Publishing, received $139,800 in funding from Teva Pharmaceuticals to work on what became known as Living with Pain, according to internal corporate documents. So get that. Ciattarelli's company receives money from Teva. Well, wait for it. Teva sounds familiar because yesterday we found this. Sherrill's campaign received $4,500 from the Teva Pharmaceuticals PAC. Harris, what this means is her criticism of Ciattarelli's company received a donation from Teva, who then donated to her campaign. So it's this nefarious circle. So if he's culpable for the deaths, so too is she, unless she gives back the money.
Well, and that's been part of the argument. I mean, her deflection to him was so that people wouldn't dig further into her inability to keep track of her finances, donations, that sort of thing. Look, all of this comes down to who is she really? She's been in Congress for 3 terms. Why didn't we know any of this before about her? Not just her donations, but her personal finances and the questions around that. This is tight. I said to you yesterday, it gets 2% in that Real Clear, and this race is over. I do agree with you that Real Clear Politics is the most important one to watch. People care about their money. They care about the people who are going to be in charge of their money and how they handle the money coming into their campaigns and how they handle their own personal finances, particularly in a highly taxed state like New Jersey, one of the top in the nation. That matters. And look, even the current Governor Murphy said it. He said, well, if taxes are your thing, New Jersey's not your state. He knew he was in trouble because he'd have to raise the taxes to do some of the things he promised to do. I don't know that she's going to give us all free electricity or cheaper electricity by far the way that she's promising. I don't know if she'll ever get the chance to show New Jersey what she can do, because right now, Jack Ciattarelli is hot in the polls.
Yeah, and I question, look, if you're going to criticize his company and an investor into that company gave you money, return the money, or else you have no ground to even make the argument you're making.
Yeah.
Emily, to say that someone is personally responsible for 10,000 deaths, you can't just say that lightly. She leveled this claim. It is totally fictitious. And I'm not surprised to see a defamation lawsuit here.
Yeah, and that's why he's arguing, look, this is professionally and personally injurious. This is harming my reputation. You are calling me a murderer, and let's just remove the hypocrisy element for a moment. So I think what's interesting here is that he's formally petitioned the New Jersey Election Commission to say, look, all of my, meaning his personal funds that are going toward this lawsuit, he wants to make sure that they're kept separate from considered any type of campaign finance, because otherwise he's limited by the cap. And then that in turn would restrict his First Amendment right to free speech, is what he's arguing here. And I think that's really important because we have on the other side who essentially is a bully. This is a person that is running for the gubernatorial office in her state and is calling him a baby for exercising his right within the court system, as he says, to vindicate his reputation and to hold the defamer liable. And now she is taunting him. I mean, is that something befitting an Annapolis grad? I mean, I don't know if she graduated, but I know they're supposed to be held up to a code of honor. I'm not seeing that right now. So back to him. So he needs, in this exigent circumstances, to say, look, you need to apologize. There needs to be a settlement. There needs something in the court system that will, again, hold her liable. And I note, too, that there's sort of an element of hyperbole and political speech and trying to sort of gain the edge over your opponent. But here, I think we need to be reminded, to your prompt, this is really serious rhetoric in this climate of political assassinations and violence. And so everything needs to be done within his resources to be able to put her back in her place, which is an apology and potentially liable civilly.
Tom, and these could move the race significantly. I mean, look, we've got that top line number, the Real Clear Politics average at 4%. But this Quinnipiac poll shows that you have Chitterelli with a 5-point lead on enthusiasm. Enthusiasm turns to voter turnout. Enthusiasm could be a tailwind that changes the race. And not only that, I would also point out the economy, #1 issue for voters. By 3%, voters trust Jack Chitterelli.
Big time. And if you look at his last statewide race, the polls were off. If he performs with these polls the same way he did in his last race, was it Senate, the Senate race, he's tied. With that, you have voter enthusiasm going into the election. Also, the real key thing here, as it is in all of these so-called purple states, it's the rural areas. In these purple states, the rural areas underperform, as far as versus the urban areas in turnout. They've got to get that turnout, and it's because people in these rural areas, look at New York, look at Massachusetts, any of the Northeast states, they're used to the blue candidate winning, and they sit home. Yeah. And if you go to these rural areas in New Jersey, you see the Trump stickers. It's just that, the guy with the Trump bumper sticker, he's probably going to go to the polls, but are his two neighbors. So it's all going to be about turnout. And if they can do that, that's what happened in Pennsylvania, how you turned Pennsylvania from blue to red. It's the urban areas.
He ran for governor, and I think what you're talking about, and you said this yesterday, he ran a little bit hotter than what the polling was showing, right?
It was off by 5 points. So if it's off by that again. In his favor, right? In his favor. Yeah. That's exactly right. Arthel, there's also this Naval Academy situation. She did not walk in her commencement. Now, according to Mikey Sherrill, she says it's because she did not turn in some of her classmates in a cheating scandal. However, a source told the New York Post there would have to be more for her not to be able to walk in the ceremony. She could very easily clear this up by saying, release my disciplinary records. So why won't she?
I mean, listen, all of you have said something that's so key. You mentioned hyperbole. Harris, you mentioned deflection. Now you're saying just show me the facts, show me the proof. I mean, all of these points are excellent points because, as we know, and this is why politics is not for the faint of heart. So what in context is everything. So hopefully each candidate will produce receipts, but more importantly, hopefully each candidate will produce a blueprint plan for the benefit of New Jersey residents. Yeah. Will my electricity bill go down, et cetera? That's what people care about. And Tom, you said turnout. It's all about turnout. So we need to have the proper information so the residents of New Jersey can make a sound decision.
I love what you said. Politics is not for the faint of heart. And that is so true when one candidate is leveling an accusation of mass murder against another. Welcome to Politics in 2025.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.